Hey.
Hey,
Guys.
partner.
Happy birthday, partner.
I was wondering why they put us on camera.
A lot of candles there. A lot of candles.
Thank you.
Happy birthday.
I don't think there's a. Did that come with the cake? I mean, the fire marshal?
We're gonna need it.
Huh?
It comes with the big 5-0 for our partner. Congratulations.
Thank you, guys. Appreciate that. The punt, and the ball gets away. John Jay safe, and hustling Darwin Barney backed it up in foul ground.
You know, it's one thing to be 50, but I know one thing. You don't act 50, partner.
No, my maturity level has a lot of catching up to do to my age. That is for sure. But
happy birthday, buddy.
Appreciate it. Thank you.
What a pleasure.
Thank all the guys at our little golf classic this weekend out in Scottsdale. 16 of us to help celebrate the birthday. I'm going to wait for them. I don't have enough air left to blow all these out.
Go for it.
Oh, most of them. It took 3 tries to get 50 candles. That's not bad. A good-looking cake, too, and I know that won't last long in this.
We'll be all over that. I guess they couldn't get 50 candles. Our budget.
Well, I do know. There's a deep drive to left by Holiday. Off the wall on the fly. Soriano played it cleanly. And here come the Cards. Maybe Dempster tiring in the 6th inning. Only 69 pitches. That was a well-struck ball, one of the few tonight for St. Louis.
Yeah, it looked like he hung a breaking ball here. He sure did. Hung a slider right in the middle of the plate. Holiday at first thought he got it, trotting kind of out of the box, thinking that might get up out of the park. It hits off high off the wall, and Soriano does a nice job of playing this and making a strong throw into second. Keeps Holiday at first base.
Here's a spot right now where Ryan Dempster talks a lot about inning management. And this is the perfect situation here, forgetting completely about the runner at third. That run does not matter at all. Right now, because of the play Soriano made, you're trying to get that ground ball and at least get a force play at second, possibly the double play.
Alan Craig, the hitter. 1 for 2 with a single. You were talking earlier about the depth of this team. 2 of you and Tim Kirchin mentioned so much that there's always a good player on the bench. Oftentimes it's Alan Craig. Swings at a high pitch and popped it up. Shallow right. Probably not deep enough for Jay to try it, and he won't, as it's caught by DeJesus, who has a good arm. Alan Craig, it has to be frustrating for him. I mean, he's obviously a good enough player to be in just about anybody's lineup on a day-to-day basis. There are a lot of fans here in St. Louis who think they should find a way to get him even more involved. They do a nice job of getting him in there pretty regularly.
Well, it shows you what the Cardinals think of him when he's hitting 4th in this lineup, with guys like Berkman hitting behind him, David Freese in the 6 hole. So they think very highly of him. And since coming off the disabled list into tonight with 39 at bats, already 16 RBIs. This is a big time run producer. And I think over the course of the season, they're going to find a way to get him his at bats.
Those who might have tuned in as the ball game progressed, Carlos Beltran's been red hot, having a great year. Not in there for the Cardinals tonight. Just a little day of physical maintenance. Been a little bit sore lately. Craig in the leadoff, in the cleanup spot rather. Here's Lance Berkman, the number 5 hitter tonight. He had a healthy hack at it and missed. Berkman doubled to right his last time up.
Berkman's been able to get the ball in the air in both of the at-bats. If you're Ryan Dempster, you hope at this point that you've saved something to keep the ball out of the air. I like staying on the outer half of the plate, trying to get him to hit something back up the middle where Castro's positioned.
6 hit given up by Dempster now. He hasn't walked anybody. John Jay, the runner at third. And that Holiday at first. Check swing. It is a swing, says Ed Hickox. And a good block by Soto, 1-2.
I think here's the splitter, partner. A great finish pitch for Dempster that he likes to go to with 2 strikes. Now ahead in the count, there's a lot of different ways he can attack Berkman.
I like 2 more of those splitters if need be. If you don't get him on the first one, sure, you're taking a chance. A wild pitch could cost you a run, but as I said earlier, he doesn't even care about that runner right now.
Chopped down the third baseline. Dempster lets it roll, and it finally went foul. He batted it away.
I'll tell you what, I would like to have seen Soto a little bit more aggressive on this ball, going to get it, even though that's going to cost you a run. That out right now with Lance Berkman and the danger he represents. Berkman's not going to get down that line in a hurry. That's the only thing Dempster could have done there. But I thought Soto had a chance to get to that ball. The back of Dempster's mind, he's wondering if he's got enough velocity to get that high fastball past Lance Berkman. I don't think so. I like that splitter once again.
He did try the high fastball, and you were right. Berkman sent it through the middle. Jay is in with the first St. Louis run of the night, and David Freese is going to bat, representing the tying run. RBI single for Berkman, his second hit of the night.
Too late in the ball game to try to go upstairs and get the fastball by Berkman. Berkman's too smart. He's wanting to get the ball in the air to begin with there. I really think that was a poor pitch selection on the part of Dempster. The location was right where he wanted it, but I just didn't think that was the time.
Here comes David Freese. Chance to tie it with one swing, and a look at his scouting report designed by Volvo.
Well, we've seen the good plate discipline, consistent contact, and as Sut talked about in the open, excellent power, gap to gap, and the other way, and in RBI situations for the better part of the last year. Been very, very good.
Oh for 2 tonight. Hasn't had it out of the infield against Ryan Dempster. Nasty pitch there. Freese got nowhere near it.
Well, there is that slider, Rick. On a 1-0 count, he locates it big time. That is an outstanding pitch, down and away. And again, this is the situation. You want to pitch away from trouble. Execute your pitches even when you're behind in the count. Make your best pitch.
In the dirt. Good block by Soto, with runners at the corners.
Wanting to keep that double play in order. Soto, as you said, another fine job of doing that. What scares you a little bit, though, there were some holes between that glove and his legs. He wasn't down smothering that pitch like we've seen Molina do it. A pitcher can see that as well.
Still, despite a 3-1 count and he's the tying run, still not a situation, Rick, where you want to just give in to him. You've still got to execute. I wouldn't be surprised if he goes back to that slider, tries to make a quality pitch with it down and away.
He tried that splitter on the last pitch. Wasn't able to get it over. I agree with you. It's time for the best slider of the night.
Check swing. No. And the first base umpire, Ed Rapuano. Now the tying run is aboard, and the go-ahead run coming to the plate. Yadier Molina bats in a big spot after a quick update from Carl.
All right, Sean, thank you. We're going back to Camden Yards. J.J. Hardy exit stage left.
He plays shortstop, but he hits like a third baseman.
He has been outstanding, maybe the American League All-Star. 5-3, the Orioles on top. Showalter making a pitching change. Yanks have him loaded, Sean.
All right. And the Cardinals have them loaded as well. Seems like the bases have been loaded all night for both teams. Yadier Molina, after the first walk of the night given up by Dempster, to David Freese. Loaded the bases. Rip Schumacher on deck. And that's a bullet toward the gap in left center. Campana over to cut it off. They're going to wave Freese around and try to take the lead. And he is out at the plate. But all three
well, Yadier Molina owns Ryan Dempster over 350 for his career. He jumps on a first pitch, looked like a cutter or a slider, and hammers it in the gap. The Cubs do an outstanding job of executing, though. Campana gets to the ball, cuts it off before it gets to the wall. Castro meets the throw and throws a bullet to home plate where Soto is waiting, blocking the plate, and they keep the tying run from scoring. Outstanding execution by the Cub defense.
8-6-2. They cut down the would-be tying run at the plate on a two-run double by Molina, who winds up at third base on the throw to the plate. He's now the tying run.
That relay had to be executed perfectly, and it was by Campana, and particularly Castro, how he took the ball going towards home plate to make that perfect throw.
Now you wonder about Dempster. Guy's just been desperate for run support. They give him 4 runs. Chance to win his first game since last August. And now he's just hanging on to the lead. They very nearly tied it on the Molina double. Jose Oquendo, the third base coach, aggressive with 1 out in that situation. Schumacher fouled one off. 1-2.
Well, Sean, the problem you have right now if you're Dale Swain, what better option do you have? Even though Dempster's struggling a little bit right now, he at 70%, to me, he's better than a lot of the other things that he could bring out of that Cub bullpen. It's not been a strong suit for this team the first 6 weeks of the season.
And there's nobody throwing in the bullpen.
And
Dale Swain raving before the game tonight about how good Dempster's been all year. He wants to ride the guy who's been his best.
And at 86 pitches, if he can get out of this inning without much more jam, he's going to stay in this ball game.
Carlos Marmol on the disabled list. Sean Marshall traded over the winter.
High fastball. Matt Carpenter has come out into the on-deck circle to bat for the pitcher. Molina the tying run at third. 2 outs. Schumacher trying to get that tying run in.
Carpenter in the on-deck circle, but you can't forget that Carlos Beltran and his 6 for 12 with a home run career numbers off Ryan Dempster is also available if needed. Activity now for Dale Swain. Looks like Sean Kemp, the right-hander, up and throwing.
He's been good. The bullpen was particularly bad early in the year when Marmol struggled and Kerry Wood struggled ahead of him. They've reshuffled the bullpen a little bit, and it's been better.
Well, if Dempster can get Schumacher here, I think you'll see Camp sit down and then send Dempster back out for the 7th inning. But probably all depends on this hitter.
Boy, the pace
continues. The catchers continue to have one big block after another. There's Soto with the tying run at third. Count to 3-2 with 2 outs. Cardinals have 3 in this inning. After the Cubs got 4 in the 5th. That's to center field, sinking fast, and it falls for a hit. And now the tying run is in.
Guys, I really think that Ryan Dempster lost confidence in his fastball when it was turned around by Lance Berkman. He continues to try to throw split-finger fastballs and sliders, and he continues to make mistakes with those pitches. This ball's not hit hard, but the problem for Ryan Dempster, it is hit in the air once again, and the Cardinals have come all the way back to tie this game.
Now Ryan Dempster waiting forever for run support. Gets 4 tonight, cruising right along. And all of a sudden it's gone. And he's facing the pinch hitter, Matt Carpenter. But the go-ahead run now aboard for the St. Louis Cardinals. Good pitch. Carpenter hitting .277. He's been up 83 times with 23 hits, including a couple of homers. He's been a very good pinch hitter. 3 for 8. With 6 runs batted in. But not that time. But the Cardinals come roaring back with 4 to tie it up.
I refer through my buddies, and now DirecTV gives me $30 off my bill every month. But it wasn't about the money. My natural instinct is to help people. And in my line of work, my word has to mean something. So if I tell the guys, you get all these great channels and this amazing picture quality, that's what they're gonna get.
For every friend you refer to DirecTV, you'll get $10 off your bill every month, and so will they. Refer more friends, save more money. Just give them your account number before they call.
Truth is, if you don't have your motorcycle insurance where you have your car insurance, you're paying too much. At Allstate, when you combine, you save up to 30%. Dollar for dollar, nobody protects the rider better than Allstate.
Jimmy Bonds.
I'm done. My skin's so raw.
Try new Gold Bond Friction Defense Stick.
That's new.
Gold Bond Friction Defense soothes skin and reduces friction right on the spot.
Thanks, Jimmy.
Think Gold Bond.
This stuff works.
Bottom of the ninth. 2 outs. 2 outs, full count.
Longoria steps to the plate.
Victorino.
Bautista steps up to the plate.
The crowd is on their feet.
Here comes the pitch.
He swings. That ball's deep. Going.
And the outfielder gets under it. Perfect game.
Chili's Triple Dipper lets you create your own bold dinner. Choose 3 appetizers from 10 choices, like our new cheesesteak sliders made with shaved steak, grilled peppers, onions, cheese, and a side of dipping sauce. Chili's Triple Dipper.
It's an event so big, we couldn't keep it all inside. Nissan's National Tent Event is back with closeout pricing on the 2012 Altima. Lease it just $179. Hurry, event ends soon.
MLB.tv. It's baseball everywhere. You can watch more than 100 live out-of-market games per week online and on your favorite devices by visiting MLB.tv for details. New pitcher for St. Louis as we are tied up now at 4, heading to the 7th inning, Victor Marte.
Well, like we talked about the Cubs maybe rebuilding their bullpen, the Cardinals have done a lot of that themselves. Sanchez last inning, now Marte.
Marte's first pitch bounced by LaHare in the hole off the glove of Berkman and past the diving second baseman Schumacher. And LaHare has a 3-hit night, 2 singles and a 2-run homer.
Let's get a look at Brian LaHare talking to Dale Swaim about that pitch down away that he's been so successful on this season. Here early in the ball game, taking a pitch down and away, and then after Westbrook started to work him in, he makes an adjustment within the at-bat, hits the home run, goes over to his hitting coach Rudy Jaramillo, gives him a little love, and Brian LaHair is all smiles for good reason.
And the Cubs try to give Dempster the lead again. Alfonso Soriano took a pretty good looking pitch, called a ball.
I guess he called that low. Marte, a hard thrower, will have a mid-90s fastball with that slider there.
Followed a scoreless inning of relief from Eduardo Sanchez. Jake Westbrook started, went the first 5. Gave up the 4 runs, all earned on 11 hits.
This is a spot and a guy in the past that Alfonso Soriano would have just worn out. Not real good command, not a great breaking ball. He's fallen behind in the count here. Lean out there to talk to him. Soriano gets a fastball here. That's what he's looking for. He's going to cheat on it. He might put up that first home run of 2012.
Let's bring in Tim Kirkshin. Tim?
You know, it's just amazing Soriano doesn't have a home run. You guys were talking earlier about what a power hitter he used to be. He used to be, you know, a potential 40 guy, and he just doesn't run anymore. And when he doesn't hit for power anymore and he's being paid this amount, not a good spot.
Well, the runner took off and got a great jump. Boy, LaHair was halfway to second as that ball was on its way to the plate.
And that is a great call, Rick, by Dale Swain, knowing the young reliever is a little rattled, struggling a little bit with his command. Hey, let's get aggressive, see if we can get him to make a mistake. LaHair leaves way early. Marte doesn't even see him. He's slow to the plate. Molina can't even make an attempt.
Strike at the knees. Boy, if Marte just stepped off, though, LaHair was going to be out.
I tell you what, Dave McKay at first base is as good as any first base coach I've ever been around on picking up routines and patterns that pitchers get into. I saw him do it in spring training several times where he just would see something from a pitcher and he would say, this is where you go. He's going to look over one time. He's going to bring his foot back so far when he's going to home, and he'll be wider with his stance when he's coming over to first. He talks about being in that same spot down there in that coach's box. It's actually outside of it all of the time so that he gets the same look to be able to pick up those kinds of things. He had something right there on Marte already, just the third pitch into that at bat.
Check swing. It's past Marte. Charged by Schumacher. Now the Cubs with a chance.
Well, Soriano completely fooled on that pitch, turns into a very productive out as he gets LaHair to third base with less than 2 outs. And I think the way Marte sets up on the mound, when he comes set, his front foot is really closed off. And I would imagine he has a hard time seeing what's going on over at first base. When he comes set, his front foot's well on that third base side and probably really affects his vision of that runner at first. It's a good look at it.
Stolen base for LaHair, by the way, was his first as a major leaguer.
There you see him closed off. Rick, I would imagine, especially considering he had just thrown a few balls, it's Brian LaHair over there, not even thinking about him, probably didn't even see him.
Now we're going to walk Ian Stewart with Giovanni Soto on deck. So we'll put runners at first and third with 1 out. And a chance to get out of the inning with a double play ball. Chicago led 4-0. St. Louis just scored 4. In the home half of the 6th. Now the Cubs with a great chance to recapture the lead. Here's Carl Ravitch.
Hi, Sean. Thank you. Terry, you saw him last night. How's the Texas lineup looking?
1-9. They go 1-13.
That's Nelly Cruz leaving the building. He's got 4, and they got a 1-0 lead over the Royals early.
Well, Rick, this is a great move, I think, by Mike Matheny. Got Stewart, who's hitting just 200. but you've got a right-handed, hard-throwing Marte that likes to try and sink the ball. You've got Soto, who is absolutely a double play candidate. This is probably your best situation to have to get out of this inning unscathed, is to play for that double play ball.
Soto's grounded into 3 double plays already.
You can see the middle infielders are at that double play depth. I'm not a big fan of that these days.
Giovanni's 2 for 3 tonight. 2 singles and RBI, but he is hit into 3 double plays this year.
Sean, this is the 4th appearance of the year for Marte against these Cubs, and I honestly believe that Dave McKay picked up something in his delivery when he's ready to go home that helped LaHair steal that base.
Either that or LaHair just took an amazing chance and got away with it.
I just don't think you take an amazing chance in a tie game.
Nope.
if you're Brian LaHair. I wonder how many games Dave McKay helped Tony La Russa win.
Well, Marte is quickly ahead of Soto. No balls and 2 strikes.
Well, it's really been a struggle for Giovanni since that rookie year when he was a National League Rookie of the Year. He was an all-star. Never more than the struggle this year has been.
2 for 19 this season with men in scoring position. Marte fired from the Kansas City Royals early last year for cash. Spent all of last season with the Cardinals AAA team in Memphis. Does have major league time with the Royals. 2009 and 2010. Also pitched for 3 years over in Japan. And he struck him out. Big strikeout. Down and in to get Soto for the 2nd out of the inning.
Well, Rick, this is a perfect pitch by Marte. Good, heavy sinker down and in. Tough pitch for a right-hander to handle. Even if he does put it in play, probably the best he does is beat it to third base, which actually turns into a double play ball. So big out for the Cardinals. Nice execution by Marte.
Mike Matheny's got to feel real good about himself right now, and he's going to manage one more time. He's going to put it right back on Dale Swaim, saying, hey, how important is it for you to keep Ryan Dempster in the ballgame?
I'm going to intentionally walk Darwin Barney to load the bases with 2 outs and get to the pitcher's spot, and apparently Dale Swaim's answer is going to be to send up the pinch hitter as Reed Johnson strides toward the on-deck circle.
And when Matheny walked Stewart, he had that in mind. Worst case scenario, I get Dempster out of this game. I'll take my chances with what's been a shaky middle late inning relief corps for the Chicago Cubs.
Well, the Cubs won in Milwaukee yesterday 8-2, and Reed Johnson was one of the heroes. He had a go-ahead pinch hit home run in the 6th inning yesterday. One of 2 homers hit by the Cubs in that victory.
I think the big reason that Mike Matheny's not afraid to load the bases here, and 15 appearances coming into tonight, Marte had only walked 3 guys. So he feels like he's going to throw strikes.
The Cubs either have to score here or it'll be 15 straight starts without a win for Dempster. Another night he pitched well enough to win. Strike to Johnson. Bases full of Cubs. LaHair, Stewart, and Barney. Johnson hitting .208 for the year. Dempster has to be kicking himself because tonight he can't really blame the run support. They got him 4 runs, gave him a 4-0 lead. Ooh, the crowd thought it was a strike. Marte did as well, but Ed Hickox didn't raise his arm. And Matheny perplexed.
Well, I think they thought Reed Johnson might have gone, but I think that ball was just off the inside corner.
You know, and that's the thing from that first base dugout, you can't see. You don't, you know it wasn't high, you know it wasn't low, but you don't know if it was on the plate or not.
1-1 on the veteran Johnson.
Well, 3 straight sliders to Reed Johnson. That's probably the best slider we've seen from Marte. He starts this one up in the strike zone. Good break out of the strike zone. 3 straight breaking balls now to Reed Johnson. Thing about going back in now with the sinker, though, to a guy like Johnson who stands so close to the plate, a hit batsman right now is a run. So he's got to be careful if he wants to go in with that good heavy sinker.
He struck him out. And the Cubs have left the bases loaded for the 3rd time tonight.
Saw the heavy sinker, the breaking ball to get Johnson out of the jam.
Of starting parties. Bacardi.
It's lunchtime for Evan and Jerry. And boy, are they enjoying it.
I might get another one. Thanks so much sauce.
But their quick bite to eat could potentially turn into a long night of the shakes. Thankfully, Evan's Corolla has available N-Tune with Bing to help them find another restaurant. Another reason you can always count on Corolla from Toyota.
Mirror, mirror on the wall, who is fairest of them all?
Rated PG-13.
Agents, be on the lookout for aliens.
One small black choco cream iced coffee, please. Yum.
Will that be all?
Not good.
Try Dunkin's new Black Cocoa Cream Iced Coffee and call *DD for a text to capture your alien today. The galaxy runs on Dunkin'.
Welcome back to Monday Night Baseball on ESPN from St. Louis and brought to you by USAA. The Cardinals and the Cubs, first of a 2-game series, 7th meeting already this season between these two longtime rivals. And a tight one, tied at 4 as we go to the bottom of the 7th inning. And the new pitcher for Chicago is Sean Camp.
36-year-old right-hander acquired by the Cubs right at the end of spring training. Was on the bubble as to whether he was going to make the team or not. He has been really good as of late.
First pitch is a strike to Rafael Furcal. It's the top of the order for St. Louis. Chopper right at the second baseman. Barney, 1 out. Ryan Dempster will go 15 straight starts without a win. He went 6 innings tonight, allowed 4 runs, all earned on 9 hits. Walked 1 and struck out 5. He threw 95 pitches.
Just seemed to be a different guy after that bunt base hit by John Jay. The location, the elevation in particular, the pitches got away from Dempster.
Here's Jay. He started the 4-run rally with the bunt single last inning. Barney a long way to his right. 2 outs.
We can kind of go back and take a look at the reason for success and then the problems for Ryan Dempster. See the ball down there. You see the location of it. The bottom of K zone explains it all. But when the problems came about in the 6th inning, after the bunt base hit, you see the elevation, not able to get anything down. That by design was up there, shouldn't have been. And then the slider that has really been his strength in the first 5 starts of the season was not there.
Slashing swing and a miss by Matt Holliday. He's 1 for 3 tonight. There's the final line on Dempster. He will not be a winner in his 300th career start. Of course, he'd have many more, but for a while he made a transition to the bullpen before coming back to starting. And of course, the Cubs could have made it a lot easier for him had they taken advantage of so many good scoring opportunities. 11 men left on base for Chicago. Camp strikes out Holliday and has an easy 1-2-3, 7th inning.
An airline has planes and people, and the planes can seem the same, so it comes down to the people. Because bad weather, the price of oil, those are every airline's reality. And solutions won't come from 500 tons of metal and a paint job. They'll come from people. Delta people, who made us one of the biggest airlines in the world, and then decided that that wasn't enough.
Exciting things are happening at Burger King.
Welcome to Burger King, honey. Your crispy chicken strips. So I said Kung Pao, but Kung Pao with a jalapeno. Have you tried the sauce yet?
Tyler?
Can I get an order of those new crispy chicken strips?
Oh, who's that talking?
Steven? You need a hairnet, Tyler?
You need to get some hair, John.
Exciting things are happening at Burger King. Hey! The new crispy chicken strips. Come and get it at Burger King.
Trophies and awards lift you up, but they can also hold you back, unless you ask, what's next? This is the next level of performance, the next level of innovation, the next RX, the all-new F-Sport. This is the pursuit of perfection.
This copyrighted telecast is presented by authority of the Office of the Commissioner of Baseball and may not be reproduced or retransmitted in any form, and the accounts and descriptions of this game may not be disseminated without express written consent.
8th inning in St. Louis. Cubs and Cardinals tied at 4. Time for tonight's one-a-day men's stay in the game moment. We chronicle the night of the rookie Tony Campana. 3rd inning with David DeJesus on. Looked like Campana missed a sign. DeJesus got thrown out by a mile, but Campana stayed in the game mentally and physically. An infield hit, a stolen base, then scored from second with nobody out on this hit by Castro, and he beautifully read the ball off the bat. It was a big play in this game. Makers of one-a-day men's and Cal Ripken Jr. encourage you to stay in the game when it comes to health and wellness. Visit stayinthegame.com for exclusive videos and tips from the Iron Man himself, Cal Ripken Jr. Mitchell Boggs, the new pitcher for St. Louis.
On for the 15th time. Big right-hander, hard thrower, potential closer at some point in his career.
And the 4th pitcher of the night. 3rd out of the bullpen for Mike Matheny. Jake Westbrook started and went 5, gave up all 4 runs. Eduardo Sanchez and Victor Marte each with a scoreless inning of relief. Marte had to get out of a bases loaded jam last inning. Top of the order, David DeJesus quickly in an 0-2 hole. He's 1 for 4 tonight. A single in the 3rd, and then he was caught stealing, as you just saw.
think you said it earlier, Aaron. DeJesus has really been a nice addition. He's a guy that works the count. Outstanding defense in right field. There were a lot of holes for Theo Epstein to fill when he took over as president of the Cubs. I'm sure he feels like he's got one of them filled in this guy.
And as they build this team going forward, because he's such a good defensive outfielder, he gives them some flexibility. In a pinch, he can play center field. He can move over and play left if he had to. So you don't necessarily have to add around him. You can add the piece you want and work him around it.
In the air along the left field line. And out of play, still 1-2. Theo Epstein does have a lot of work to do with his baseball administration. What should his priorities be as he looks to rebuild the Cubs?
He's even said it over the last month or so. He's really looking forward to June 4th. And that's when the draft is. And that's really where, for me, the rebuilding and the difference between the Chicago Cubs and what Theo did in Boston is all about. And you look at, you go back to 2002 with Boston and some of the draft picks. I mean, John Lester and Pedroia and Papelbon and Ellsbury. The list just goes on and on. Every year there was an impact player that came up there and helped that ball club win. When you go back to 2002 with the Chicago Cubs, there's a lot of guys, honestly, I mean, I played there for 8, I've never heard of. Those guys from 2002 to 2005, they should be the strength of this organization right now. And most of them are nowhere. They're not even in baseball anymore.
I mean, the reality is if you mess up on the draft consistently, it's going to show up eventually, even for high payroll clubs. You've got to have success in the draft to keep yourself viable.
And I'm sure that's the reason that the Cubs ownership wanted Theo to be the guy, because of what he had done in Boston, the history, all of the years without a World Series. A lot of things went into that. But I mean, I was there in spring training for quite a bit of it. Saw some of the draft picks that are still around. That minor league system is low. There's not a whole lot there at all.
And they do have Anthony Rizzo down there, who's considered one of the top prospects in baseball.
He's so good that LaHare will be playing left field probably within a month or so. Jackson, on the other hand, when you talk about a guy playing in the PCL only hitting .230, that's not ready to be moved quite yet. That kid's got a ton of potential, but he's got a ways to go down there before he gets here.
Tim?
It's going to be real interesting to see what Theo Epstein can do in the draft with the new draft rules. A bunch of executives have told me with those new draft rules this year, you can't go out and overspend for a guy no matter where you're drafting. That's what Theo was able to do in Boston, and it really worked well for him. He won't be able to do that easily this year.
Smashed by DeJesus. Gobbled up Lance Berkman. And a good at bat by DeJesus. 9th pitch, he winds up on base.
Yeah, great at bat by DeJesus, Sean. Fell behind in the count 1-2 to Mitchell Boggs with a outstanding fastball slider, gets himself back into the count, and then hits a rocket past Berkman, who just kind of a do or die play over there in between hop on into right field. And the leadoff man is on for the Cubbies.
Or Tony Campana.
Got to be a bunting situation.
Oh, no doubt.
The throw over by Mike Matheny. That was sent in from the dugout. Molina passed it along to the pitcher. They want to take a look and see if possibly DeJesus might tip his hand that the hit and run is on again. You pitch out, you see that. You can't hit and run on a guy that throws as hard as Boggs. I thought it was the perfect play against Westbrook, but a sign was missed.
Campana got the bunt down. Molina throws to second. And it's a low throw. Safe at second base to DeJesus. Well, the Cubs have the first 2 men on. Then we go back to Carl Ravitch.
This is a rarity. The Phillies have 5 runs. Placido Polanco's first home run of the year.
And if they score, you know they're going to get them out.
And they'll win. And they're winning tonight 5-1 over Houston, New York, and Baltimore. A 5-5 game and a bad moment. Just when it looked like the Yankees pitching was all in order, Ivan Nova leaves the game limping. It's 5-5 in the 7th inning. An update on baseball tonight.
All right, Carl, thank you. Now a bunt try by Starlin Castro with 2 men on. And it was a foul ball back by the screen. The scoring play on Campana's sacrifice, then a fielder's choice, allowing him to reach base after the base hit by DeJesus. So the Cubs have 2 men on. You surprised they're bunting with their number 3 hitter up there?
I am, because obviously he's your best hitter, but if it is successful, they're just going to walk LaHair. And I don't love the matchup of Boggs versus Soriano and then Stewart. I'd have him swing it.
Oh, keep the bunt on, and Berkman made a great play. It might be a double play. It is. Berkman was almost close enough to shake Castro's hand by the time he got the bunt down. And what a play. Rifled one to third and then back to first for the double play.
Well, Castro's not a guy that sacrificed bunts very often. Give Lance Berkman a lot of credit. Played it extremely aggressively with this in mind. He got the perfect play to handle it, and Castro, no chance. Looks like Castro didn't run initially. Perhaps a little.
I just don't think you ever anticipated there'd be a 3-5-4 double play, but you can't assume anything.
Yeah,
I don't think I've ever seen a 3-5-4 double play before.
Yeah, I just wrote it down. I thought that's interesting.
And yeah, you really have to question Dale Swain, as you said, Aaron.
Yeah.
And Castro's their best hitter.
And you
LaHair's been their second best hitter. Well, maybe neck and neck for the best hitter on the team this year, but overall Castro's your best guy.
And if it's successful, the bat's going to get taken out of your next best guy, which has been LaHair. I think you got to go for it with your 2 best guys in that situation.
Campana at second base now in 2 outs. They walk LaHair to get to Soriano.
You see Berkman creeping in, anticipating this in mind. I want to get that lead runner. And then Christmas showed up early when they turned it into a double play.
It would have been the opposite of Christmas for Berkman had Castro swung away and hit a line drive right at him as he was running full speed toward the hitter.
He's got a glove on.
Yes, he does. He would have needed to use it very quickly.
Well, and the thing is, guys, too, Castro had numbers against Boggs. 3 for 5 in his career. Soriano, on the other hand, 0 for 9 with 7 strikeouts.
Soriano's 0 for 3 with a walk tonight.
And then not to mention, if you got past Soriano, you got the lefty Stewart coming up, and you got Chepsinski waiting in the pen, who's as tough as anyone on left-handed hitters. Matchups really favored Matheny and the Cardinals there if you were going to bunt your number 3 hole hitter.
A frustrating season all year long with the bats for the Cubs, but never more so than tonight. They've already left 11 men on base through 7 innings. They've left the bases loaded 3 times. There is action in the St. Louis bullpen. And they're trying to avoid leaving 2 more men on base here in the 8th. They've had runners in every inning except the 1st and 6th, but they've scored in only 1 inning. The 5th inning when they got all 4 of their runs. Three and 1 on Soriano with Ian Stewart on deck. And there's a looping base hit in the left. Charged by Holiday. Campana comes to the plate. He is safe. And through it all, the Cubs managed to reclaim the lead.
Well, what a big hit for Alfonso Soriano, who Rick said was struggling in his career against Mitchell Boggs. On a 3-1 count, Boggs goes to the slider. And Soriano just does get good enough piece of it with that big bat to flip it into left field, and with Campana's speed running on contact with 2 outs, no chance for a play at the plate. And Sori's happy about that. A big RBI here in the 8th.
17th run batted into the year. Ian Stewart with 1 strike now. He's had a good night. 2 hits, a single and a double, an intentional walk. He scored a run. Campana in. LaHare went to second. Knee-high strike. On the former Colorado Rockies, spent parts of each of the last 5 years with the Rockies.
Guy with tremendous potential.
In the dirt, blocked off the chest protector of Yadier Molina.
How many times have you said that?
And Soto too, to his credit. They both made a lot of key stops. Everybody in the lineup, with the exception of the pitcher spot, with a hit tonight for the Cubs. This qualifies as a big offensive outburst for them. It could have been so much more with another clutch hit or 2. Another block by Molina. And it almost looks like he's had enough of this.
It's unbelievable what a catcher goes through.
And what a quality block. That's not an easy one right there. I mean, that is completely shifting, and it's an art form he's got it down to. Blocking that ball in the dirt, Rick.
The 27th pitch of the inning from Boggs. A little bit deceptive because of the intentional walk. Some of the pitches not all that taxing, but this is a big one here. 3-2. With 2 outs, the runners will be on the move. LaHare from second and Soriano from first. Soto on deck. Oh boy, Molina. Foul ball.
Tools of ignorance.
Oh, I know, yeah. By the way, Yadier, you're due up 4th in the bottom of the 8th inning. So when this is over with, go grab a bat.
Chopped slowly down the third base line. Boggs, nice play. And a good dig by Berkman. Soriano, the clutch base hit. 5-4 Cubs.
Mine was earned off Vietnam in 1968.
Over the South Pacific in 1943. I got mine in Iraq 2003.
USAA auto insurance is often handed down from generation to generation because it offers a superior level of protection, and because USAA's commitment to serve the military, veterans, and their families is without equal. Begin your legacy. Get an auto insurance quote. USAA. We know what it means to serve.
Research suggests the health of our cells plays a key role throughout our entire lives. One A Day Men's 50 Plus is a complete multivitamin designed for men's health concerns as we age. It has more of 7 antioxidants to support cell health. That's One A Day Men's 50 Plus Healthy Advantage.
Efficient dynamics means a lighter chassis, which means less this. And it means an 8-speed automatic transmission, which also means less this. And it means auto start-stop engine technology, which means less this. But all of it means just as much this. We only make one thing, the ultimate driving machine.
Lease a BMW 328i for $399 a month until May 31st.
After the deconquest. The new confetti cake blizzard from Dairy Queen with white cake and confetti frosting.
This is where the banners hang, where teams write their history. But when I look around here, I don't see a team with nothing to say. I see a team that's ready to make a statement.
ESPN's Monday Night Baseball is presented by USAA, proudly serving the financial needs of the military veterans and their families, and in part by the makers of One A Day Men's, the official multivitamin of Major League Baseball, specially formulated for men. Well, lots of twists and turns here tonight. Night of squandered opportunity for the Cubs. They still have a 5-4 lead. Sean Camp beginning his second inning of relief. Pitched to 1-2-3-7. Through strike one to Alvin Craig, who's 1 for 3. Middle third of the order, Craig, Berkman, and Freese.
For me right now, this is the save, just because of what you mentioned, Sean.
James Russell, the lefty, warming up in the bullpen. He, Camp, and Rafael Dolis have been the guys who have helped stabilize this bullpen after the struggles of Marmol and Wood. Slung way outside by Camp. 2 balls and a strike.
And Camp, the previous pitch, tried to elevate, I think by design, but that's something he's got to be careful with, Rick. This is a guy that relies on working down in the strike zone with that slider, sinker, and changeup.
Camp's one of those guys throughout his career that's just been blessed with a great arm. He could literally throw an inning every day. The reason I know that, when I was a pitching coach in Idaho Falls, he was my closer.
Well struck, left field, and a hit. Soriano will watch it roll to the wall. And Craig is into second with a leadoff double. A tying run in scoring position to start the inning for St. Louis. And here's Carl Ravitch.
Hi, Sean. Very exciting there. Excitement here, too, with the Nationals up 7-5. Remember, Worth is gone. Xavier Nady. It's gone in the game that Harper hits his first home run. The Nationals lead it 8-5. You talk about feeder. Mark Teixeira, 5-5 game. It's gone, Terry.
And you know what? His batting average isn't where they want it, but he's got the production.
Yankees 7, Orioles 5. Chapman and Hayward going at it as well.
Here in St. Louis, back and forth they go now. Lance Berkman.
And now Berkman up there in a situation with one thing in mind: get a pitch I can pull.
He's so good at that, too.
Worst thing, I roll over, I get the guy to third with less than 2 outs, and if I get something I can really pop, I'll drive him in myself.
Berkman's had a good night. Double and an RBI single. Hits it to short. Castro playing in the right spot. It's one of the things that has been the recurring theme of the Cubs season. They've done a very nice job positioning their infielders.
And that's one thing that Pat Listas, the third base coach, does for the Chicago Cubs. And Sean, you're exactly right. Castro in the perfect spot right there. Not only trying to hold Craig close to second base, but the charts and the stats show that when the ball's hit on the ground, more times than not, that's the direction it goes as far as the shortstop was concerned. A huge out there on the part of the Cubs.
One of the staples, they typically play the cornermen well off the lines and try to block the holes on either side of the infield. And this Stewart says he likes to have the third baseman because he feels he goes toward the line better than he goes the other way.
And play to your strengths. I agree with it. And I love what the Cubs do with playing to the scouting report, overplaying. It's going to work out more often than it won't.
David Freese, the batter, with a tying run still at second.
But here's just a good example of how deep this Cardinal lineup is. I think it's the right move to pitch to Freese here because of how good of a hitter Yadier Molina is on deck and what a good RBI man he has become. Normally you'd think put on Freese, play for the double play ball, but
particularly with Yadi here, the only one that hit into more last year double plays in the National League was Albert Pujols.
And that's certainly been one of the big stories of this early season, Pujols' struggles and how little this offense has missed him. Second in the National League in runs scored and right behind Atlanta. Saw a graphic earlier, St. Louis #1 in the National League in many offensive categories. And obviously they saved a ton of money by not giving it to Albert Pujols.
Well, Sean, when Albert signed on December the 10th with the Angels, it was 12 days later that the Cardinals inked Carlos Beltran to a 2-year deal. Nobody has driven in more runs in May than Beltran.
Well, he's been tremendous, way better obviously than Pujols has been his first year in Anaheim. Pop up and foul ground. Freese retired. Of course, Pujols was the fixture at first base here for years. There are his numbers on the left this year in his first year as an Angel. And here's what the Cardinal first basemen have done on the right of your screen. Combined .305. More than twice as many runs batted in.
Guys, I'll be honest with you. I watching Albert the last 10 days, he does not look healthy to me. Just watching that swing and the pitches that he misses, it seems like there's an elbow problem of some kind. Carlos Beltran right now is the reason that Yadier Molina might get a chance to hit.
Yep.
Russell's ready down in the bullpen, the left-hander. Ideally, you put Molina on, you'd bring the left-hander in to face Schumacher in the on-deck circle. But because of the fact that Beltran is in that dugout, Molina is going to get an opportunity to hit.
And 2 hits tonight, including the 2-run double that very nearly tied the game.
I'll tell you what, give Camp a lot of credit after making a 2-strike mistake to Craig. He executed pitches against Berkman to get him to not pull the ball, and then made an excellent pitch behind in the count to get the pop-up from Freese.
Borderline strike, 1-1. There's Schumacher on deck. Beltran is available to pinch hit at some point for Mike Matheny.
Yadier Molina last year with career highs in average homers and RBIs. A lot of those RBIs, particularly in spots like this, come on balls hit to the opposite field. On Sean Camp right now, I try to do the same thing he did to David Freese by running that fastball in on his hands.
In the air in center for Campana. And the Cardinals cannot take advantage of a leadoff double by Alan Craig. We go to the ninth. The Cubs still on top, 5-4.
A DirecTV Cinema exclusive now playing.
I've been under a lot of stress.
What's your name, bozo?
Something stinks about you.
Breaking out? It's harder than it looks.
It looks pretty easy to me.
Cut the toe off.
We already did that.
Cut another one.
What are you looking at? Get The Gringo now playing only on DirecTV Cinema.
Before the miraculous returns, before the inspirational resumes, before the NFL season even begins, comes the deal you won't want to miss.
Did he catch it? Yes, he did!
This season, get NFL Sunday Ticket at the lowest price in almost a decade.
Unbelievable!
Watch every game every Sunday for less, only on DirecTV. Call 1-800-GET-SPORTS or visit directtv.com/NFL to order now.
All your life, you've been trading up. You exchanged the third-floor walk-up for the house you had your heart set on. So now that you're comfortably situated in life, let's talk about your car.
For a limited time, during the Lincoln Exchange sales event, trade up to a Lincoln MKZ, ranked the most dependable car in its class 3 years running by J.D. Power Associates. Now lease a 2012 Lincoln MKZ for $319 a month, including a $1,000 exchange bonus. Only at your Lincoln dealer.
A market fresh pecan chicken salad sandwich with fresh fruit, veggies, and tender grilled chicken, all prepared by hand. Man, if only I could shake the hand that handmade this delicious sandwich. Want something really fresh? Try the Arby's Market Fresh Pecan Chicken Salad Sandwich. Wholesome chunks of grilled chicken with crunchy pecans, crisp apples, and juicy red grapes on your choice of honey wheat bread or whole grain wrap. Arby's, it's good mood food.
ESPN's coverage of Major League Baseball continues with 2 more games this week. First, AL East rivals square off Wednesday night. The Red Sox and the Rays at 7. Then division leaders in the National League collide on baseball's biggest stage. It's the Dodgers and these Cardinals at 8. Sunday Night Baseball. Both available on ESPN3. And also watch it live on the WatchESPN.com, Watch ESPN app. 5-4 Chicago looking to pad their 1-run lead here in the 9th against Mitchell Boggs, who grazed Giovanni Soto with the second pitch of the inning. So the lead man is on for Chicago for the 3rd inning in a row.
Tried to run that 2-seam fastball in on the hands. Molina sitting on the inside corner. Looks like it just caught the shirt of Soto, giving the Cubs an opportunity with another leadoff man on base.
6th time tonight, 9 innings they've had the first man on.
And likely another bunting situation for the Cubs.
Darwin Barney, number 8 hitter. Pitcher due next.
Barney tipped his hand there. Boggs stepping off by design. Again, that sign came from the bench. Looked like he started to take the bat down as if to bunt.
Barney was walked twice, once intentionally. That was in the 7th inning. He's doubled. Boggs came in last inning into a tie game and gave up the run that put Chicago ahead. Turns to punt again and had a duck out of the way and one right under the chin.
Well, giving Barney a strike to work with this time, squares around to bunt, and look out. That'll get your attention.
Held his ground that time and got the bunt down. And Schumacher can't hold the ball at first base.
Well, just a nice execution here by Darwin Barney. Kind of jumps up in the box to gain ground. You see him step up. That's to give him a better look in the runner's box, and then just Schumacher just flat drops the ball.
Like he was awful late getting there. He should have been there in position to take that throw from Berkman.
Sacrifice for Barney, then he reaches on an error on the second baseman.
Pat Listash coming in to talk to Joe Mather. Mather in another bunting situation, but the conversation has got to be, look, if they're crashing from both corners on that wheel play, you're free to take the bat back and try to swing it.
Second Cardinal error of the night. They've had an unusually sloppy game. Mather, the pinch hitter.
And he's also saying, look, we've seen how aggressive Berkman is playing this. Normally, you just want to put it out there where you're comfortable. This, if you're going to bunt, you've got to bunt it towards third base and make Freese come in and field that ball.
Well, I like just hitting a ground ball between the shortstop and the third baseman because they are both going to the bag. Just playing pepper with the left fielder.
Mather gets the bunt down and the throw to third. Are they going to do it again? No. And the throw gets away. Freese's throw back to first got away. And here comes a run for the Cubs.
Well, David Freese just got a little bit greedy. Probably did not have a play. Boggs fields the play as it's bunted right back to him. Wisely goes to third base, and then Freese in a tough position with his feet tries to flip it over their sidearm and ends up making a poor throw.
In the secondary inning, they made the play on Soto, the lead runner, but then Barney scores from first. Mather wound up at third base. 2 errors in the inning, 3 in the ball game. Infield in. With David DeJesus up.
Cardinals all year long up to this point had only allowed 6 unearned runs. It was an error that started at the top of the 5th inning that eventually led to the 4-run outburst for Chicago.
Just been a number of plays, not only the errors, Rick, but just plays that they normally make that they just haven't made tonight. We saw Yadier Molina double clutch on a pitch out.
Cubs with a run in this inning. And another man at third. They still haven't had a hit in the inning.
Tell you what Dale Swain might be thinking about here is that safety squeeze. Got a guy at home plate that can handle the bat, and you've got speed in the base runner at third base. The base runner has got to read it. It's not a suicide squeeze. You don't have to bunt the pitch unless it's one that you can handle.
.40 pitches now for Mitchell Boggs.
There won't be anybody left in that bullpen by August if they continue at this pace with all of their appearances.
3 errors for the Cardinals tonight are a season high. DeJesus already with 2 hits tonight. Trying to add another and have the lead. Cardinals staring at their 4th loss in a row unless they can rally in the bottom of the 9th. Swing and a miss. 2 outs. Here's Carl Ravitch.
All right, Sean, I told you great theater here with Hayward and Chapman, and win to Chapman.
There's a guy that throws 101 and he breaks off a breaking ball. That's not fair.
No, they win the game 3-1. Chapman came in a tough spot and got through it. Meantime, Detroit and the White Sox. Told you about Adam Dunn's home run. White Sox down 5-4. Rally here. Przinsky comes in. They add some more, and it's 7-5. Baseball tonight. Full stories coming up after the game.
Swing and a miss by Campana. He scored 2 runs tonight, has a hit and a stolen base. We'll see the Reds and the Braves next Monday night from Cincinnati.
Yeah, both teams, especially the Braves, playing outstanding, but Cincinnati, after struggling a little early, has kind of righted the ship behind a strong, despite losing Ryan Madson, that bullpen has been lights out. We saw Chapman tonight. He's been doing it all year.
You know, and congratulations to our former colleague, teammate Dusty Baker, just recently with his 1,500th career victory as a manager.
Saw Rafael Dolis getting ready in the Chicago bullpen. 1-2 now on Campana. Well, if the losing continues, would you start to wonder if maybe the Cardinals' early season success was a product of the very easy schedule they played at the beginning of the year? Or is this clearly a very good and solid team?
To me, Rick, it's about their health. If this team can stay healthy, they're going to be really tough. And eventually, if they can get Wainwright going and get Chris Carpenter back, they're going to be as tough as anyone to beat.
To me, it all comes down to that starting rotation. They've got to be better, and they should be better. I don't see this team going anywhere. There's enough depth on that bench to give guys the time off they need.
Campana struck out, but the Cubs had a run with plenty of help from the Cardinals.
BCS arm switches on.
The crossover, a rolling embodiment of compromise. We can save it. We have the technology, capable of building a crossover worth driving with breakthrough fuel efficiency. The all-new Mazda CX-5 will be that crossover. Better, stronger, smarter. We build Mazdas. What do you drive?
Starting parties. Bacardi.
Crave Quiznos. Quiznos is now better than ever with over 25 new menu items featuring artisan bread, new all-natural chicken, fresh sliced natural cheeses, and introducing the Chicken Milano. Crave it now, only at Quiznos.
When you have cable and can't find something good to watch, you get depressed. When you get depressed, you attend seminars. When you attend seminars, you feel like a winner. When you feel like a winner, you go to Vegas. When you go to Vegas, you lose everything. And when you lose everything, you sell your hair to a wig shop. Don't sell your hair to a wig shop. Get rid of cable and upgrade to DirecTV. Call 1-800-DirecTV.
Changes for the Cubs as we go to the bottom of the ninth here in St. Louis with Chicago leading 6-4. Joe Mather in the ball game in left field. He came up as a pinch hitter, and the new pitcher is Rafael Dolis.
And one of those blown saves came Friday night against Milwaukee in Dolis's last appearance. Coming out of spring training, the hope was for him to be a 6th or 7th inning type guy. But with all the problems and injuries, he's the best option that Dale Swaim has right now.
Season got off to a very bad start for the Cubs right away when they blew a couple of ball games at the back end with Kerry Wood and Marmol at the end.
Well, it looks like he's going to be facing 3 lefties to start this inning with Beltran moving in on the on-deck circle. And he has limited left-handers to a .094 batting average with that good sinker. So
he's basically a one-pitch guy. It's basically a sinker from 92 to 97.
And his first pitch, a strike to Skip Schumacher, who would like to atone for that costly error he had a moment ago. Had a good night at the plate, 2 for 3, a couple of singles. He's not going to run.
2 more hits for him off of Ryan Dempster, who he came in well over 400 in his career. And now over 50 at bats.
John Camp would be the winning pitcher if Dolis can save it.
Well, you just can't say enough about the job Camp did after giving up that leadoff double to Alan Craig. Berkman, Freese, and Molina, retiring them in order.
Strike 3. Schumacher checked his swing, but it had plenty of the plate.
All about command with that good sinker. Moving the ball from corner to corner. Started out on the outer half. There's strike one, perfectly painted. Same kind of thing, just coming at him down in the zone, misses away, and then watch this front door sinker. Started it out, looked like it was going to be inside, came back to basically catch the heart of the plate. When you get a ball to move that much at 95, you've got something special.
Fly ball down the left field line. It'll find the seats. Carlos Beltran at the plate.
And how much of a relief is it to get that leadoff hitter for the Cardinals with Carlos Beltran potentially as the tying run and as hot a hitter as he's been.
He's having a tremendous season. 298 with 13 homers and 32 runs batted in, alone in the National League home run lead right now, tied with Andre Ethier of the Dodgers for the RBI lead. He's hit 6 homers and has had 13 runs batted in over the last 6 games. Lifts that to center, and a lot of room for Campana drifting toward left field. And the Cubs are 1 out away from victory in the opening game of this 2-game series.
Well, if the Cardinals lose this game, Rick, it's now 4 in a row. And all of a sudden, this hot team is reeling a little bit, getting inconsistent starts out of their starters tonight. Westbrook not able to get through 6 innings. That's something that's going to have to change. Or like you talked about earlier, they'll burn that bullpen out. You've got to get deeper outings from your starters on a nightly basis.
I tell you what, and to me, you look across the diamond, a lot of credit has to go to Dale Swaim and the Cubs. They started out the year 4-12. It looked like they were going to lose 100 games. They did not lose a series until over the weekend against Milwaukee. They had a blown save on Friday, came back to win Sunday. For all the problems that they got, this team is winning every game that their ability gives them a chance to.
They made it very hard on themselves tonight. 14 men left on base. But the starting pitching has been very good. That's been what has allowed the Cubs to play better after that horrible start.
And Sean, that's what they'll build this club around. Garza at the top of it, followed by Samardzija.
Strike 3. Ed Hickok thought about it for a moment, and then he rang up for a call to end the game. Brian LaHare stays hot. Starlin Castro, multiple hit game, and Dolis, a 1-2-3 ninth to save it for Sean Camp. Boggs takes the loss.
That's right.
Baseball tonight is coming up next. For Aaron Boone, Rick Sutcliffe, and Tim Kirchen, Sean McDonough saying so long from St. Louis. Now, Carl Ravitch, Terry Francona, and Barry Larkin. Baseball tonight.
All right, Sean, thank you very much. So the Cubs get a victory. Kind of a weird game. 3 errors for the Cardinals. You had Starlin Castro bunting with a couple men on. Are you shaking your head after this whole thing?
Well, it was an interesting game, but they came out on top. But there's a lot of things happening there.
This is Terry Francona, Barry Larkin.
How about Dolis at the end of the game? It looked like they weren't picking that ball up at all.
Yeah, it was hard to pick it up even on the screen. I mean, it's 95 with some movement. That's nasty.
That's their first save with Marmol gone, and they convert it. So Dolis and the Cubs get a victory. Elsewhere tonight, a lot of interesting things going on for those that aren't into seeing catchers get hurt. This is a bad one. The Nats, of course, just lost their everyday catcher, Wilson Ramos, to a torn ACL. Bryce Harper is in action. We're going to go back to Sunday when Jay Bruce hit a fly ball to him in right. Harper never saw it. The ball landed way behind him.
Well, this season so far, it's been an adventure, let's say. He's done some great things, and he's done some not so great.
Things seem to follow him.
Yeah.
Some good, some not so good.
And this is a kind of a Harperism in microcosm because he was involved with it on the good and bad. He dropped it there. Yonder Alonso scores.
It just looks like he took his eye off it a little bit right there.
Got to put some of that tape on that glove.
But then there's this part of Harper, which we haven't yet seen. He's got his first career Major League home run.
And you know what, Carl? I think we have seen that swing before. He just got that line drive elevated, and that's what great hitters do. Not saying he's a great hitter, but he's got a great approach, and that is very nice.
Barreled it up. Harper's getting curtain call. Nats lead it by a score of 4-1. A line shot, center field laser beam, and the first of Who knows how many for the 19-year-old. All right, so Ramos goes out with a torn ACL, likely done for the season. And Sandy Leon called up from Harrisburg. Jesus Flores, the regular catcher. Leon is playing tonight. Leon involved here with men on second and third. It's Chase Headley trying to score, and he runs Leon over.
And you know what? That was a very clean play. Leon comes out, tries to block the plate. Headley had not much of a choice. He tries to slide around him. You see he has nowhere to go. So he decides to go through him. That's a perfectly legal play.
And before everybody jumps off the deep end here about let's revise the rules, let's use some common sense.
Let's finish the highlight, then I'll jump off the deep end.
Okay.
Ian Desmond here, a fly ball, top of the wall in right. 2-run score, and the Nationals are back on top. It's 6-5.
Can we talk about it now?
Not yet. In the ninth, the Nats are up 8-5 with men on first and second. Henry Rodriguez is on the mound. Kristen Norfia is at the plate. And a ball 4 situation would load him up. And that's exactly what happened. So Rodriguez is yanked. Sean Burnett's on the pitch.
Well, Henry Rodriguez gave up the walk-off grand slam to Joey Votto just last night. So this is not unfamiliar territory.
The lefty to Jesus Guzman. Perfect 1-2-3 double play. And the Nats win it by a score of 8-5. Okay, now we can jump back into that. So what were you saying? Let's not get all carried away
before everybody gets carried away. If you change the rule where the catcher, you can't knock the catcher over, do you know how many base runners are going to get their legs torn up?
And why is that?
Because the catcher will just own that plate.
Stand in front of the plate.
They'll sit on it. I mean, the catcher has the right to either block the plate or not block the plate. And they can take their mask off or they can leave the mask on. And nobody says you have to block the plate. But if you institute a rule where the base runner can't hit them, every base runner is going to get hurt.
Well, there's a reason why they call it hardball, and that's exactly what it is. These are men out there playing. Leon knows exactly what he's doing. He's trying to block the plate, and you're right. If the runner had to run around him, broken ankles, this, that, and the other, and you hate to see that. You think about Buster Posey, the same type of situation. Your job is to dislodge that ball from the catcher if that catcher catches the ball. And here you see the Buster Posey play at home.
And it's hard to watch.
Yeah.
But
right.
if you change and institute a rule, you're going to see the same thing, but more often with base runners.
All right. Giants were devastated by the Posey injury with Ramos gone, and now Flores again, who's not the everyday backup catcher, but they've lost 2 good young catchers. We'll see what the long-term impact as Leon is out. We don't know how serious that ankle injury is. All right, elsewhere tonight, all sorts of close games. The Brewers and Mets were involved in a good one. Yo-Yo Gallardo, Giovanni's on the mound. Cesar Izturis is shifting. Daniel Murphy to the hole.
And I don't know, that wasn't an exaggerated shift, but certainly Murphy has the ability to pull the ball. Looks like he just stayed through a nice bit of hitting.
Mets are up 1-0. Izturis a bunt. Taylor Green caught in a rundown. David Wright got him. Right, so he broke to the plate here late on the break.
I don't know if that was a suicide
or maybe a safety squeeze. He just got caught in no man's land.
That didn't work out well. Miguel Batista, did you watch? What was he doing tonight?
He was doing the things that he did every time I faced him. Painting. I could not pick up the ball off this guy. He dominated me, and it looked like he was pitching very well.
7 innings, no runs. Here's a suicide squeeze, and that one will work. Murphy's in. Good job by Cedeno, 2-0.
Just manufacturing some runs, letting your pitching hold up.
There were a lot of bunts tonight. Cubs bunted like 50 times tonight. Corey Hart. That's into left. Ryan Braun's going to come in to score. Brewers are down 3-1. As Braun scores, we can let you know news of the day. The arbitrator, Sean Doss, fired today by Major League Baseball. Francisco walks Taylor Green. The next batter, Francisco, strikes out Brooks Conrad looking. 2 men down. And the next batter, Francisco to George Contreras. Francisco is safe. The Mets winning. 9th save for Francisco, and Bautista Pistori as a starter. Phillies and the Astros tonight. Joe Blanton's on the mound. First batter of the game is Jose Altuve. Whoa.
Web Jim.
Yeah, I'd say.
Just really good. The presence of mind, just calm and cool, and just, this is what I do.
What a quad.
Absolutely.
Blanton strikes out Bogusevic. No score after one. What'd you say? What, a clock?
Yeah.
Meaning he knew.
Nothing screwed up.
That's right.
Lucas Harrell on the mound in the bottom of the fifth. Lookout nearly got Carlos Ruiz in the head, but they give him a hit on the hand.
A little clubhouse talk right there. I like that.
Polanco, ground ball to Harrell. He'll get Ruiz at second, but Lowry has no throw to make. Could have been a double play. Mayberry Jr.
Lowry to his left.
Out of his glove, that hurts.
Yeah, that was
extra
a play
opportunity
right there.
still.
Absolutely.
They would. 2 on. The next batter is Freddie Galvis. Polanco's going to score. The Fightin' Phil's got a 1-0 lead. They've increased it by their standards by 100. It's 3-0. Chris Snyder's gone. Joe Blanton very good. 7 innings, an earned run, and 7 Ks. And some history here for Polanco. His 2000th career hit, 17th active player to go there, and a home run.
How about that timing right there on that clock?
And he just plays the game right all the time.
Phillies win it 5-1. Polanco's first of the year. Entertaining game. Reds and the Atlanta Braves. Got really exciting late in the first inning on a 3-0 count. Votto walked.
And he wasn't sure that was out of the strike zone.
Go to the second inning of this one. Delgado with a man on second. 0-2 pitch. He's kind of jonesing for a call here. He's missing the plate.
Those are off the plate. Those are off the plate.
Wow. That one's split.
Maybe
Yes,
they
if you
weren't.
stay consistent.
Yeah. You can lead an umpire to a pitch.
He did. I think he led him right to that pitch. So Delgado is through that inning. We'll go to the fourth now. Still 0-0. First and second. And runs were hard to come by unless you helped the team out.
Well, that was Tyler Pasternicki. It was a rookie mistake right there. Runners on first and second. Runners were moving on the play. Why was Uggla not at second base? Because the runners were moving. Had a forced play at first. Rookie mistake. He'll learn from that.
All right, that dude here with a man on second going off the top of the wall. He comes into second. Stubbs will score. Reds win up 2-1. They'd increase their lead to 3-1 here. And right around now, you're thinking, okay, starter good. Chapman coming on. And the bat Chapman and Hayward had. Chapman won that battle with the bases loaded with that.
Look at that. That's a guy that throws 101, throwing a breaking ball about 90.
A lot of people wondering why he doesn't close. Terry will have his thoughts on that later in this program. Baltimore bound. That's where Jeter and the Yankees are. Josh Hamilton, the red-hot Texas Rangers, the player of the week. And the good and the bad. Kemp, hurt. Kershaw, hurling. We'll get into that and what goes on in bullpens sometimes when you're not looking.
Thanks for the ticket, man.
Thanks to my State Farm agent for saving me $480.
No sweat. Hey, look, we're on fan cam.
Y'all ready for this? Having the extra cash sure helps.
And I can save even more by combining your auto and renter's policies.
Cool. But what if we bought a house?
Auto and home? We have even bigger savings for that.
Wow, sounds good.
More savings any way you shake it.
Want to split some nachos?
Sure.
Get to a better state. State Farm.
All the people, they're looking at me. 'Cause they see that I'm free. All the people, they're looking at me. 'Cause they
The SoundLink wireless mobile speaker. Bluetooth connectivity. Grab and go portability. With deep, rich sound you can only get from Bose.
One taste of the new Cherry Berry Chiller, and you won't be able to pull yourself away. So we created Chiller Talk. Made with 100% fruit juice with natural flavors blended with ice. Bringing together the natural sweetness of cherry and raspberry for an ice-cold twist on fruit juice. Here for a limited time only. New McCafe Cherry Berry Chiller at McDonald's. The simple joy of keeping it cool.
How to put a value on a home. You start by taking the smell of pancakes made on a Sunday morning and times that by the sound of kids laughing from the bottom of their bellies. Then you add the taste of a good Cabernet with family on Thanksgiving. Multiply all this by about 50,000 memories and 100,000 smiles. And then you have the value of a home. Coldwell Banker, where home begins.
The new Miller Lite Punch Top can. Crack it, punch it for a smoother pour. However you punch it, it's Miller time.
Max and his son made their way homeward bound when mischievous rain dropped down, down, down. Safety was threatened by every roguish drip. They slipped and slid. They couldn't get a grip. Then along came the Michelin Man, reminding them the right tire changes everything. Stop up to 31 feet shorter than a leading competitor with the new Michelin Defender tire, backed by a 90,000-mile warranty. Michelin, a better way forward.
This episode of Baseball Tonight brought to you by the Capital One Cup Impact Performance, celebrating the best performances in college sports. Check out this week's nominees at www.espn.com/Capital One Cup and vote now. The government star witness in the Roger Clemens perjury trial or retrial took the stand Monday, and Brian McNamee said he injected Roger Clemens with steroids about 8 to 10 times when they were with the Blue Jays in 1998. I knew what I was doing was illegal. I wish to God I could take it back. He was on the stand for about 4 hours and will continue with his testimony tomorrow. All right, to the Yankees and the Orioles tonight. They were in Baltimore, seesaw game with an injury in it that could have a big impact on the Yankees. Nick Markakis off the ankle of Ivan Nova. It was his right foot. He stayed, but he never was really solid after that. Take a listen to how hard it hits his foot.
Listen.
That's off the boot there.
And that's not a good place to get hit. No. There's no flesh down there, right off the bone on the side of the foot. Tito, you know when you foul a ball off your foot.
Stay with you for about a week.
I'm telling you.
So Nova hung around, and he would later come out, and you'll see that in a minute. In the fifth of a 2-2 game, Curtis Granderson, who's done most of his damage at home, hits the second of his 12 home runs on the road. And a big fly.
They can pick that one up on the way back to the hotel.
Bottom five now, tied at 3, the 1-0 to J.J. Hardy. Larry Rothschild says, okay, something a little off with Nova. Let's go out. No action in the bullpen. 2 pitches later, with the bullpen enjoying what appeared to be kind of a joke there. No one's laughing now.
I tell you, J.J. Hardy's one of those guys that flies under the radar, but he is some kind of good.
5-3 Orioles. He and Jeter, right? The all-star shortstops right now?
I'm telling you, we talked earlier. He plays short, but he hits like a third baseman.
Right. All right, in the 6th, same score loaded. Raul Ibanez to first. Chris, is that a case of Davis letting the ball play him?
You know,
exactly what that is.
I think a lot of times at first and third base, you don't have time to set your feet. And I think that's exactly what happened. You can see he didn't work underneath that ball. That's been there, done that. That's an uncomfortable.
You got to work down to up instead of up to down, and it makes that ball look awful fast.
Tied at 5, Luis Ayala. Granderson doesn't get all that one with the bases loaded. They get out of it tied at 5-5. Bottom 6, this is where Nova would get hurt. Or hurt enough he'd have to come out.
And, you know, it looks harmless.
Yeah. But here it comes apart there. It did look harmless. It did not look very athletic, and that may have been because he was hurt at the beginning of the game. But right here, he's like, I am shutting down. X-rays were negative after the game, but a contusion and maybe sprained ankle. Big fly here for Teixeira.
It takes 5th on the season right there. You love to see that.
You make a mistake, he still knows what to do with it.
On the phone, please. 7-5 Yankees. They're in the top of the 9th, still playing in Baltimore.
Rangers in that category.
There's Jacoby Ellsbury.
That's a good sign.
That's a great sign right there.
Really good. Bobby Valentine says making progress. Bottom 1, David Ortiz. This one to left.
Talking about a great sign. You were with him forever.
When David hits the ball in left field like that, he is so dangerous, especially off a left-hand pitcher.
Pedroia scores. Boston up 1-0. As good as John Lester has been in a while here. Yes, it's the Mariners. He didn't throw a lot of cutters tonight.
I'll tell you, he used his fastball tonight, and he located it, and he proved, once again, when you pitch with your fastball and you locate it, you can be successful.
All right, so if it's not Middlebrooks, right now it's Daniel Nava, a two-run shot.
Nava's back in town.
And that's what he looks like. It's 4-0. Later in the fourth, Kelly Shopik exit stage left.
Tito, you ever take a little BP there? Try to hit over that wall?
Yeah.
Yeah?
It didn't work.
No?
No.
The golf club?
The wall looked so short, but it was a little out of my reach.
Casper Wells is gone in the 8th inning. Lester has thrown an 8-inning complete game this year, but not a 9, and that is one. 6-1, Boston's won 4 in a row. That's your final score. Sticking with the AL East, Rays and Jays, Jeff Neiman is on the mound. Bottom of the first, scoreless, 2 on, 1 out. There's another one off of a pitcher. Adam Lind hits it off.
Kirby,
foot of Neiman.
Kirby Puckett used to tell me his approach to hitting was, I'm going to try to knock the pitcher off the mound. If I'm late, I hit it to right. If I'm early, I hit it to left.
He'd get out of the inning without allowing a run. He'd come out and throw a few warm-up pitches in the second, and he, too, like Ivan Nova, leaves the game. Who's in? Cesar Ramos. He'd get 2 quick outs and then walk back-to-back batters, and it's Kelly Johnson through the hole. Colby Rasmus is in. Blue Jays go up with Morrow on the mound, 1-0. We know how good Morrow's been. His last 4 games, 4-0, 0.65 ERA. And he implodes in the 5th inning. You figure out baseball.
Well, he was throwing a lot of off-speed breaking balls. Then you see him throwing them up in the zone. When you're not executing your pitches, all those pitches, you can see that. Another breaking ball, off-speed breaking ball, 87, but elevated. Earlier in the game, that ball had a lot of downward movement. As the game progressed, the ball was elevated.
A lot like Dempster with the Cubs. Got to a certain point in the game, and everything was just up in the middle of the plate.
Luke Scott makes it 4-1 Rays. Is Upton, Joyce both come in. Now it's Rodriguez. That's a double to the right center field gap. Pena and Scott score. Brandon Morrow went 5 innings and gave up 6 runs. He K'd 7, but the Rays win it by a score of 7-1. So Boston, Tampa, and it looks like the Yankees are going to get wins tonight. Rangers, they're dealing with the Royals. That's Josh Hamilton. We're going to flash back to the game that Tito was at. It was you, Terry. He broke the bat in RBI single.
He covers everything. The at-bat before, he hit a double off of his Adams apple to right field. Then he hits a ball away for a base hit to left field.
That's the 4 home run bat, though.
It doesn't matter.
Well, look out. And he actually said about that bat, I just hope I don't do that with it. So that bat's broken, and this one goes flying. Why would that happen?
Buggy whip right there.
Why is that happening?
It was just a little out in front.
Centrifugal force.
That's right.
I'll tell you about that later.
I know what centrifugal force. I took science in high school. But he's got to find that. He's got to tape the old bat up. Hamilton, by the way, would walk. Then he would single. Then Nelson Cruz.
And if this guy gets hot, look out.
He's the best.
Their offense might not have any real deep.
Chris gets to third. Beltre. Whoa, that's a rarity. Inning will continue. The next batter, Alcides Escobar, gets a steal.
Really fast.
Now they're at second and third. And Escobar, these are the Rangers. They have 1 run. Oh. A trap, 2-1 Royals. Where'd the offense go?
It seemed like
Bruce Chen throwing from every different angle imaginable and fooling them.
Wednesday, AL East. It's a 2-game series. Like many of these, 2-game sets. They just start another 2-game set Wednesday. Boston and Tampa play the first of 2. And they begin interleague soon. St. Louis, LA, Sunday, our 8 o'clock Eastern time game right after baseball tonight. And we'll be back.
Make your next getaway great. Come in for the sweetest deal. Book now for the great getaway and save up to 40%. Doubletree by Hilton, where the little things mean everything.
Hello.
This is where we do that bundling thing?
Let's see what you got. RV, covered. Why would you pay for a hotel?
I never do.
Motorcycles, check. ATV.
I ride those.
Do you?
No.
Boat.
House?
Hello, dear. Hello.
Hello.
Oh, check it.
We're going on break. The more you bundle, the more you save. Now that's Progressive.
What was that?
How are we gonna deal with this? Those things in your life.
Here they come!
Make you want that next minute more than the last.
Liam Neeson.
Make you fight for it.
The Gray. Own it Tuesday.
And there's lots of cool stuff happening with Progressive Mobile.
Hey.
Tyler here will show you everything.
Check out our new mobile app. Now you can use your phone to scan your car's VIN or take a picture of your license. It's an easy way to start a quote. Watch this. Flo, can I see your license?
Oh, all right.
Thanks. Okay, here we go. Whoa.
No one said cheese.
Progressive Mobile. Insurance has never been easier. Get a free quote today.
Meet the next generation Dremel Multimax, the most powerful and versatile Multimax tool ever. Its 2.5 amp motor gives you the performance to handle the toughest jobs. And with its exclusive hook blade and jab saw accessories, performing unique cuts has never been easier, so you can power through more projects than ever before. To learn more, visit Dremel.com. The next generation Dremel Multimax. Repair, remodel, restore, faster.
Back here with Barry Larkin and Terry Francona. Carl Ravitch, 5-4 game. Up the middle, that ball goes. That's Diane Viciedo. White Sox put him up 6-5. Viciedo had a 2-run home run as well in this one. That gave him a 5-4 lead. And they go on and win it. 4-4, Shin Soo Choo is up for the Tribe. With a man on second, he'll bring in the go-ahead run. Make it 5-4 Cleveland. Bottom of the ninth, Twins are batting. Pittsburgh and the Marlins. The Buccos up 1-0 as we pick it up in the first. Brad Lincoln in for Eric Bedard. Uh-oh. Ouch, ouch, ouch. Whoa.
That's a bomb.
Huge.
That's a bomb.
419 feet, they say.
Offense really struggled earlier in the season.
Not anymore.
Woken up. That's right.
Barajas' home run makes it 2-1 Pirates. That's his second this year. In the third, Jose Tabata center off Sanchez. Logan Morrison, you can run forever. Morrison reels it in.
It's a nice play. Go get it, Lomo.
Well, that's a lot of room out there.
It's a ton of room. You can build houses out there. Bottom of the fourth, man on third, Emilio Bonifacio. Morrison's going to score.
Herbie Puckett.
Duck.
Hit it up the middle. As hard as you can.
Did you try to hit everything up the middle?
Absolutely. Did you? That's a great approach, I think, to hitting.
This is a good one for Pedro Alvarez, who continues to be very inconsistent. McCutchen runs all the way around to score. His speed helps a lot, and the Pirates beat Miami by a score of 3-2. Cubs and the Cards, many of you got a chance to enjoy that here on ESPN. Ryan Dempster's ERA barely over 1, but he's got no support, so he hasn't got a win. Brian LaHare has been the offense for the Cubs.
And the good story just continues.
9th this year, a lot of Cubs fans tweeting he'll go to a corner outfield position when Rizzo comes up to play first. Yadi Molina to the gap in left center in the 6. Holiday's going to score. Berkman's going to score. Freeze is going to try. Good relay.
Yeah, that was well executed right there. Campana cuts it off. Perfect strike to Starlin Castro. You can see the strong arm of the shortstop. And another catcher stepping out in front and blocking the play.
And Campana didn't maybe turn the right way, but he got the middle infielder the ball where he can handle it and make a strong throw. And Lark knows if you give him a chance, they'll do the rest.
All right, speaking of Campana, he was involved in a lot of stuff tonight. There would appear to be a missed sign, and they're talking about it. Campana, though, would end up being a pretty good hero in this game. He lays down a sacrifice bunt. DeJesus goes to second. Everybody is safe. Next batter, what do you think about this? Castro, their best hitter, lays a bunt down, sleeps on his way to first.
Yeah, this was surprising a little bit. I think everybody in the ballpark thought he was going to be hitting, including Castro.
And look at him here.
And this isn't a guy not hustling. This is a guy losing his focus and being frustrated.
All right, so instead of seeing the Cubs perhaps grab a lead, then Soriano saves the day here as Campana with his speed will score easily. And his speed was a huge factor in this game.
He actually manufactured a run. He forced Rafael Furcal to throw a ball away early and then stole second base and then scored earlier in the game. So that speed certainly has a lot to do with the score of this game.
And the Cubs, who just bunted a lot.
Hey, whatever it takes. You know, this is the offense.
I agree.
You do. Del Swain does whatever it takes. And, one thing that he does have, other than LaHair, he's got guys that can put it in play and guys with some speed.
All right, but the Cubs do win it by a score of 6-5. Time to break things down with the Home Depot, and we are going to focus on speed. There was a lot of it tonight in baseball, but in Campana's case, it wasn't just with the bunt or with the base running. There were other ways he helped, right?
In the outfield, on the bases. Look at this. He not only is he fast, but he hustles, and he plays with a lot of enthusiasm. Here, this is a pitch out, and he still makes it, and he actually thought about going to third. Look at a good second. This is a great read right here. Nobody would have said a word if he goes to third and he got a good read and scored easily.
And the cutoff play that he made, you said he turned the wrong way, but he doesn't cut that play off. It may not end up in and out with.
And for me, more importantly than anything, he got it to the middle infielder in the air so he can make a strong throw.
Speed is a valuable asset that sometimes people don't want to take advantage of. And even when you're not trying, sometimes it does help.
It's a big part of the game.
And Campana can absolutely fly for the Chicago Cubs. A kid that had Hodgkin's lymphoma when he was young, 10 years of treatment, now he's in the majors. Breakdown built by the Home Depot, more saving, more doing. That's the power of the Home Depot. We'll get to the web gems on the other side.
Let's play indoors this weekend. All we need is a couple of gallons of our hardest working paint from the Home Depot. The place that gives us more top-rated brands than anywhere else, at prices that won't shake up our budget. Let's make a one-wall statement, or tackle a total room takeover, with paint that'll get the job done in fewer trips up and down the ladder. More saving, more doing. That's the power of the Home Depot. The #1 brand of paint just got better, starting at $24.96.
There was a little bit of trepidation. Not quite knowing what the next phase was going to be, because you've been, this is what you've been doing, working. And now you're talking about, well, I won't be, and I get the chance to spend more time with my wife and my kids. It's my world. That's my world.
On my journey across America, I found new ways to tell people about saving money. This is Bobby. Say hello, Bobby. Hello, Bobby. Do you know you could save hundreds on car insurance over the phone, online, or at your local Geico office? Tell us, Bobby, what would you do with all those savings?
I am a bit of a ventriloquist. Your lips are moving.
Geico. 15 minutes could save you 15% or more on car insurance.
I look at her and I just want to give her everything.
Yeah, everything can cost upwards of...
I did not want to think about that.
Relax, relax, relax. Look at me. 3 words, Dad. E-Trade Financial Consultants.
So I can just go talk to them?
Just walk right in and talk to them. Dude, those guys are pros. They'll hook you up with a solid plan. Wait a minute. Bobby? Bobby, what are you doing, man?
I'm speed dating.
Get investing advice for your family at E-Trade.
Break into every ballpark with MLB Network's Strike Zone and DirecTV, an all-new channel that takes you to where the action is, live as it happens.
Holy smoke!
Big matchups.
Lefty against lefty.
Critical at-bats.
This is storybook time, folks.
And the moments you won't want to miss. Break into the zone with DirecTV and MLB Network Strike Zone, Tuesdays and Fridays, all season long. Go to directv.com/MLB for more information.
New Turtle Wax Ice does more than give your car a brilliance you'll be proud of. The advanced resins and protective polymers in ice create a barrier to repel dirt. It's the new hard shell finish that keeps your car cleaner longer. New Turtle Wax Ice. The smarter way to shine.
We're back on Baseball Tonight, and Web Gems brought to you by Turtle Wax. Keep your car cleaner longer with a new Turtle Wax Ice, the smarter way to shine. Got some crazy stuff going on in this Dodger Diamondback game. News on Matt Kemp. He had that injured left hamstring under an MRI. Not in the lineup tonight, although apparently available to pinch hit, so not right now appearing to be too serious. Uribe goes on the DL with a wrist injury for the Dodgers. What do you make of this one? Dodgers Diamondbacks. Kershaw's on the mound in a 1-0 game. It's not 1-0 anymore, or is it?
Wow. Wow, that's a nice play.
That's not Kemp out there.
That's a nice play.
That's Tony Gwynn Jr.
We saw Gwynny Jr. make a nice play in Web Gem yesterday, too.
Got an update on that game in just a moment. It does involve the pitchers. Web Gem's here. Really?
Caballo!
Caballo.
Go get him!
I don't know. I don't have that as number 5.
What do you have that?
Maybe 50.
13. All right. Way to go, Caballo. He's on the list.
Wow, this is the first. It's 2 first basemen right here. But, Roach, I'm telling you what, this guy at first base
he's a
is
good
some
first
kind of
baseman.
smooth. Yes, he is.
He played for us in Boston for about 9 days, but he is good.
I'll tell you, Lance Berkman could have earned a few tonight. I know he also misplayed, but boy, they were testing him over there with some of those pickoff attempts. David Wright in a Met 3-1 win.
That's called the hot corner. Not much
he
time
could be in there every night. He could make a play.
Nice play.
Polanco celebrates his 2000th hit, his first home run, and he also gets a Web Gem tonight.
You talked about this internal clock. There's just no rush in Placido Polanco. Everything he does seems to be under control, nice and smooth.
Titan Terry and Barry, the #1 Web Gem of the night goes to, so far anyway, and there's a midnight show, Cameron Nabin.
Talking about being able to cover some ground. Those strides right there, my goodness. Lay out, big fella. That's a long fella right there.
Padres would lose the game tonight, 8-5, as Harper hits his first home run. Back to this one. Kershaw is, oh boy.
Whoa.
Oh boy.
He's kind of laughing. What do you mean?
He's laughing because Ian Kennedy has to hit too.
Yeah, I may stay for the late show. I want to stay. This game just got a little more interesting.
All right, well, that's Kennedy and Kershaw. One thing, a lot of Reds fans want to know why not Chapman closing.
I love what they're doing. They're using Aroldis Chapman as the wild card in the 7th and 8th inning, and when there's a bind to get out of, he's the guy they go to. I like it.
You do like it?
Yes.
A lot of Red fans are saying, why isn't he closing? He's the best.
You pigeonhole a guy sometimes in that situation, and I think they're using his strengths right now.
All right.
Hey, Dusty, I support Dusty.
The final score is 3-1. Is that what I just heard? Yes. And it's between who? The Rangers beat the Royals. The Royals beat the Rangers 3-1. SportsCenter starts now. See you in an hour.
There's #1 and several more hundred to follow, we hope.
This is SportsCenter.
Sixers steal a defensive struggle thanks to an offensive call. Plus, will the Heat be sweating it out now that Chris Bosh is out indefinitely? fresh off winning a second Game 7. Rangers keep the Garden Party going by blanking their Cross River rivals to open up the Eastern Conference Finals. And with his historic home run bat headed for Cooperstown, see why Josh Hamilton was giving away free lumber at the Rangers game tonight. All that and much more on SportsCenter right about now.
I'm just trying to stay positive right now.
It's a bunch of crap.
Yo, what's good? SportsCenter, shredding it. Stuart Scott and Tim Legler hanging out here. We've got a couple of guys waiting in the Levy Lounge, or I guess it's really the Bourbon Lounge. Takes me 2 months to get a minute in the lounge at the end of the show last week. And last night, Chris Berman takes over the lounge and does an entire highlight. Leaves. What's up with that? You know, we're all really just renting space from Chris Berman, and wherever Mr. Berman wants to sit, Barry, Mr. Berman gets to sit.
And he left his tab open.
Stu, so if you want to come on by, you can pick that up, too. We will be there. I still haven't been in there. I still haven't been in there.
Everything's on Boomer.
I'm not on the list, man. All right, we're going to start with Game 2 of the Sixers-Celtics legs. I cannot wait for Dr. J and Larry Bird to get this thing going. Stu, that was 30 years ago, man. It's 2012. Oh, my bad. My bad. Different version. Different version. Rajon Rondo in a giving mood early. To Brandon Bass, to Rondo, back to Bass for the jumper. Holler, one of 8 dimes in the first half for Rondo. Legs, how does Rondo see the passing lanes that he sees? I think his height is certainly an advantage, but the guy just understands where everybody's going to be. This offense is so in sync. He knows where the cutters are going to be, knows how to deliver the ball. It goes up top. Ryan Hollins, beautiful dunk in transition. Hollins rocking the crib right in Spencer Hawes' grill. Later, check out Avery Bradley. Goes up, hitting the shoulder by Elton Brand. Bradley in a lot of pain, went to the locker room, separated shoulder, but he would return in the fourth quarter. That means in the locker room they did what? That's a tough young fella. Popped it back in. It's happened 6 or 7 times since he separated it. And you know he went, ow! Drew Holiday went, ow, with the three-pointer. Philly down by 2 in recess. Third quarter, check out Rondo and Allen on the same page again, Legs. Perfect right here. Running their offense. You see the vision. His head is up. He understands the back cut right there. Drew Holiday was trying to cheat over the screen to take away the 3. Ray Allen went backdoor, old school style. Later, Philly up for Andre Iguodala is a straight-up grown man. Doesn't mind not being the superstar, even though he is. Loves it. Sixers up 7. Next Sixers possession. Evan Turner, short jumper. Sixers into the third quarter in a 14-2 run. Philly up 8 after 3. Fourth quarter, those Celtics down 2 legs. Here come the setup. KG's leadership right here got him back in the game. He took over the game. Boston was anemic offensively all night. A little run by Garnett got them back in it. Then the big 3 on the out-of-bounds play by Bradley actually gave Boston the lead. Fourth quarter turned into a game. Next Sixers possession. Holiday getting his wing 3 over Paul Pierce. He had a game-high 18. At the other end, Ray Allen for like the, 140th billionth time? Right back to it. Perfect screen by KG. The fade cut by Allen gets the 3. Puts Boston back up again. Allen 17 off the bench. Under a minute to play. Evan Turner, man size, flips in the acrobatic lay-in. Sixers retake the lead, 76-75. Last chance for Boston, down 3, 12 seconds up. Watch Garnett called for the illegal screen. Legs, should they have called that on a superstar with 12 seconds left? I rarely see that call made. It's inconsistent with how screens are being set throughout the night. Is that an illegal screen by the letter of the law? Of course, but those aren't usually called in playoff games when you're trying to free up a shooter at the end of a game. Tough call for the Boston Celtics. Sixers hang on to win it 82-81. Sixers' second win in their last postseason road games. Lavoy Allen, 10 points, 8 rebounds, and a team-high plus 21 rating. As for Paul Pierce, 7 points in the game. It's only the 6th time in single digits in his 118 career playoff games. After the game, Coach Hollins talking about his team's win.
I think the Celtics' experience in the last 6 minutes of the game, would trump us just simply because what we're trying to do and try to grow. But I think our players feel very good that in a close game we can win, and I think tonight was an important night.
I don't like the fact that we took, to me, almost 3 quarters to play the right way offensively. Listen, we knew the blueprint before the game. It took us 3 quarters to get into it. And, I always say that's on me somehow to figure that out with our guys.
We've been in positions to where we haven't been able to close out games. Tonight showed that we're learning a little bit. But now we've got to continue to prove ourselves and do it consistently. You know, not just it being just a one-time thing.
I mean, it is what it is. I mean, I can't change it. You know, we got to work cut out for us. They took the home court advantage. Now we got to try to find a way to get 1 or 2 wins in Philly.
Some dude named Mike on Twitter, like one of a million Mikes on Twitter, he said that the Sixers out-nitty-gritty the Celtics. So after 2 games, we are tied in games and in total number of points. Tim Legler's Celtics scored only 13 points in the second quarter and 11 in the third. They had a nice rally in the fourth. But what happened in the middle of the game?
Well, listen, these 2 teams are good defensive teams, but a lot of this cannot be explained by defense. There were so many missed open jump shots in this game, but I think if you're Doc Rivers, you're upset by the fact that you took so many jump shots. 9 free throw attempts. Now, listen, the last 25 years have been 1,800 playoff games. Only 7 times has a home team taken less than 10 free throws in a game. That tells you they're shooting too many jump shots. No aggressiveness out of Rondo, doesn't get to the line at all. Paul Pierce shoots 2 free throws. Garnett shoots 1 free throw. That's a jump shot shooting team on a night when it's not going. You've got to figure out other ways to score. They were not able to do that.
And Philly in the fourth quarter, every time the Celtics threw like that, Philly countered and came with the left hook.
Well, Doug Collins' biggest problem with this team, he knows they're going to compete. He knows they're going to play hard. He knows they're going to share the basketball. His problem with this team is who's going to make a shot when I have to have it down the stretch because they don't have that go-to offensive player. But they did it by committee. Iguodala hits one. They get lucky right there. Lavoy Allen, less than a second on an out-of-bounds play, banks in a long jumper. Iguodala, again, off the dribble, getting to a spot. Here to drive. Should have been a travel. Evan Turner gets away with it, but he puts the ball in the basket. Big, big 3 right here by Drew Holiday right there after Boston had taken the lead. Holiday comes back and answers with a 3. And then the biggest play of the night, Evan Turner putting his head down, turning the corner. For about 40 minutes of this basketball game, it was some of the ugliest offense you are going to watch. It was a matter of who can string together some shots. They both started to at the same time, but ultimately Philly got the biggest ones in the last minute and a half of that game, and Boston had an unfortunate offensive foul called by Kevin Garnett. Philly is back in this thing, but I'll say this, Philly's going to have to go home and win both. You can't come back to Boston 2-2. If you want to win the series, go home and take care of business and take command of the series.
Despite getting out-rebounded 47-36, Philly wins its first playoff game in Boston since 1982. Whether Miami's Chris Bosh plays in any other playoff games this year, that's up in the air. Bosh officially out indefinitely with a strained abdominal muscle. The Heat big man does not think he will play the rest of the Pacers series and maybe beyond. He injured himself on this play in Game 1, driving for a dunk, went down the Heat. He did get up, shoot the free throw, and ran down court, but then collapsed again. An MRI confirmed the abdominal strain. As for now, no clue when he might be back. 18 points, 8 boards a game for Bosh during the regular season. This is going to be tough.
Yes, I do want to play. Yes, I want to be out there. You know, no, I don't want to be in the position that I'm in. But, you know, mentally, I just have to stay with it. You know, I'm just trying to stay positive right now, and I will.
Chris is a guy who we depend on a lot. You know, he's our stability in a sense. So it's very unfortunate, you know, but it happens. You know, a lot of teams go through it. You know, the biggest thing for us is that Chris get healthy, and he's able to return to the court.
Chris is a huge part of what we do, a huge success. So guys have to step up. You know, that's what I'm doing myself.
He was here today. He'll be in treatment. That's what it is. You know, from our minds, we're looking at that as good news. You know, it obviously could have been much worse. It's an abdominal strain. We do not have a timetable on him.
As I said, 18 points, 8 boards a game. That's what the Heat are going to miss in Bosh. Can they win this series without him? A, two-part question. Can they win beyond this series without Bosh?
I still think they can win this series because I think Indiana's going to have a hard time scoring enough points against the Miami Heat defensively because Danny Granger really struggles against this team. LeBron James does a great job on him, and he's their best offensive player. He hasn't done anything against them all year. I think Indiana's going to struggle. But beyond that, how long is he going to be out? Can they still get to the finals? Most likely, if you're going to play either Boston or Philly, but then is when you really have problems. If Chris Bosh is out beyond that and they get to the finals without him, I think any of the top 3 teams out west that could get to the finals will beat the Miami Heat without him. He's that important to what they do offensively, providing that pressure release for LeBron and Dwayne Wade because of his ability to space the floor and knock down jump shots. You can't load up in the lane with big guys defensively when you've got to account for Chris Bosh on the perimeter. They just can't replace that offensive production.
A lot of people think, well, you got D. Wade, you got LeBron James, the Heat will be fine. Per 48 minutes, with Chris Bosh on the floor, the Heat outscore their opponents by 9 points a game. When Bosch is not on the floor every 48 minutes, they outscore their opponents by just 0.3 points, which is basically a tie. That shows you how important he is. Legs, as always, do work. Speaking of doing work, the Levy Lounge, we coming.
Oh, nobody works harder than Barry Melrose. Barry, the travel figures to take its toll in the Eastern Conference Final.
You would think so.
How about the sympathy coming from the guys out west, right? Rangers and Devils are
always the same.
Right? Separated by 11 miles and a river, and gas prices being what they are. No, this should be a dandy of a series. No secrets between these two rivals. Let's see if there were any fights. 3 times during the regular season, they dropped the gloves shortly after the opening faceoff. Marty Brodeur, of course, played in that 94 series. He's the only holdover player. First period turnovers leading to breakaway chances for the Devils. Rangers turn it over. Zach Parise and Ryan McDonough are going to catch up. Look at that closing speed.
McDonough was unbelievable in this first period. He was fantastic right there. Zach Parise can fly. Now look where McDonough is. He's got to go a long way to catch Parise. Parise's not a slow skater at all. I couldn't have caught him with my car right there. And he doesn't take a penalty, which is even more important. The puck is shot in the corner, no penalty on the play.
Hey, Boomer had a great time with the SportsCenter scope last night. You just did a nice job with it, too. And here again, Ilya Kovalchuk, stopped by Lundqvist.
And watch what he does here. He doesn't let Kovalchuk get to the middle of the rink and get on his forehand. He takes the angle, keeps him on his backhand. Henrik Lundqvist knows he's not going to get to the middle. That helps the goaltender out a lot. 2 great plays by Ryan McDonough early in the game.
Early in the second period here, Girardi turns it off.